Hi, I'm Sebastian from NEAERA, and you're listening to Rockum Radio.
In all his does, you focus on the individual and their survival in difficult times, along with global and social clamor. What inspired this lyrical shift, and what was the process like to write about these themes?
The lyrics are all written by Stefan, our guitarist. He is the main lyric guy. He's put such blood, sweat, and tears into it, and I believe he or has or had been writing since the start of the pandemic because the last album was already done, and he just focused on ideas and things that came to his mind, thinking about the situation we all had to endure. And yeah, I believe this is the reason many of the songs on this new album are dealing with the self and conflicts and matters in that regard. And It's a bit of a step away from like general political or social stuff. More focused on the self, and of course in the metaphoric way, like he used to do, and it resonates very well with our singer Benjamin, who has to, of course, give us all a meaning and a voice. And I think, yeah, it works really well.
How did the pandemic influence the creation and recording of all his does? Were there any particular challenge you faced during this period?
Yes, because initially we didn't plan on writing another album, because the last album we put out, the self-titled on NEAERA, um, we just released right into the pandemic. We played our last show, was the release show of it, was the 28th of February 2020. So basically 1 week before everything closed
That time.
down. And yeah, what a timing, great. But I don't want to complain because there's so many more on different or other musicians who had it way harder than us, because we already were like approaching it a bit more of a ambitious hobby, you might say, rather than being professional musicians or forcing it to be. So of course, that wasn't the end of the world for us,
Mhm.
but it was of course a huge bummer because we were so uh, convinced of the quality of the album. And we also, in the same way, were convinced that we couldn't just easily put something new out right away. So it took a lot of time. And as I said, during this time, Stefan began writing stuff down, also um, riffs, and Toby also. But it just took another year for us to really start thinking about another album. In between, we did we didn't take a break whatsoever. We had a small side project with the singer of Heaven Shall Burn, which isn't really known very much, but I can just mention it. You might want to check it out if you like. It's
Mhm.
called Our Loss Is Total.
Okay.
It's on Spotify. It's We released it on vinyl. It's just 4 songs. It's a bit more black metal, but not too hectic. And if you like to check it out,
Okay.
it was
Okay.
a
Okay.
small it's a small side project. I love his voice on it. And then after we finished that, and in 2021, we thought about how we want to approach new NEAERA stuff. And if we wanted to at least put out a single to let everybody know there's still something going on with us, because everything was still basically in lockdown, or you had no means of getting in touch. Playing live was out of the question. So yeah, we tried, and or we wanted to make a single, but scrapped the idea. The track is also on the new album. It's called Render 4 Powerless. It's on the second half of the album, and it kind of sticks out a bit because it's a very fast, like almost thrash melodic death metal kind of song, and it's a bit. It differs a lot, I think, from the other material on this new album because, and this is where the main not challenge, but like musical difference is we just simply didn't want to make music like that exactly for the whole or for the whole album. So the first songs we wrote, we scrapped right away and said, okay, let's talk a bit more. What do we want to achieve? Let's see where things go. And we jammed,
Okay.
and this is where the process really started. Yeah, I believe in the second half of 2022.
22.
Yes, if it's so far away by now.
By the way, the album was mixed and mastered by Christian Cole at Cole Skeller Studio. What specific element did you want to capture in this album sound, and how did Christian achieve that vision?
Yeah, it needed to be a bit more organic, I think. Also a bit more mm, uh yeah, I don't know if it makes sense. It just needed to bit more roughness to it.
Okay.
It's not a rough production by any means. I think it's a very good, well sounding. Everything's
Oh,
is there. It's he has a huge sound. The right um, uh, um, um, the right speakers, and you're blown away by it. And yeah, we didn't. He came back to us with some of the um, or the first song we let or he produced, and we were blown away by it. It was just, dude, that's awesome, exactly what we wanted. And yeah, we liked it. He's it's a bit more of a bass, especially the bass is a bit more aggressive. Um, but yeah, I think overall it works very well together. There's so much high end, like being able to hear everything around the drum kits on the high ends, the cymbals and stuff and small things, and also the voice and its facets. All it's yeah, works really great. Yeah, and we are so happy about it.
Fuse Germany mentions that the album is atmospheric, heavy, and energetic, combining new ideas with old strengths. What musical influences guided you during the creation of All Is Dust?
Yeah, as I said, it was kind of a progress of finding the stuff we liked in our own creation. As I said, we tried things a bit differently in the beginning and weren't too happy about it. And we took some steps back from it, and then I don't know. It sounds cliche, but we just let things flow. Just
Mhm.
try out stuff and see where it goes. Just, I mean, not on purpose, but just by necessity. Um, it was we looked each other in the eye and saw, okay, this works. He likes it. I like it too. Maybe
Like
put
it.
down the tempo a bit more, and not really too much focusing too much on influences. We got to sound like that band because they are awesome. They put out a new
Yeah,
album and
yeah,
kicks
yeah.
ass, and we need to do the same thing. At least for me, it's never been that way. Of course, you have your influences, but you don't take them to the rehearsal room and say, I want us to sound like that. There's also, of course, influences we all have, but we also can by now take influence of our early work and maybe from there see to make things a bit more differently. So yeah,
After 7 years hiatus, you released your seventh album in 2020. We talk about that. How do you feel to return to the music scene, and what lessons did you learn from that experience?
It's it all can end so quickly. That's a lesson we learned, but I think we knew it in advance. This is, of course, nothing you'll be doing the whole of your life. You can, of course, have a love and affection for this music and the scene and everybody in it. And this is they're still the same persons, or the same people. You see the same faces. Maybe they have gone a bit old, grayer, and a bit less hair, but still, it's the same spirit. But also, you see, especially with the pandemic, things changed, and I think that was kind of the biggest learning was that there's also a need for different important anchors in your life, uh, besides the music. It's the music is great. We love them, but it's in the end, music is something that works in the moment and is great in the moment, but it's nothing you can really cling to. It's
Mhm.
nothing that really the even though you'd like to and listening to stuff over and over, I'm listening to so many different types of music, and but still it's working in the moment. And we found, or we made our peace with, okay, we're not actively taking part in this whole scene stuff anymore. We're out of the loop. So if we get back, there's okay, we're recognized, but it's not the main parts in our lives anymore. And I think going back from there,
Mhm.
it's all it only can be positive, right? Because you don't fear losing everything because you don't own it, if that makes sense.
Is there any interesting or memorable anecdote from the time you spent recording All Is Dust that you can share?
Really interesting. I don't know. Sometimes it was rather boring. I mean, we met in the rehearsal room, not like back then, once a week or maybe twice, but rather once a month. And
Okay.
so we're just like, okay, here we go again. It's been another month, so here we are back again, and still not sure what to make of this riff, and is it ever gonna work together? And be honest, no, it never will work together. So let's just throw it away and start anew. The feeling of not making progress the way you were used to, or you at least you thought everything was perfect, but then still for sure wasn't. But yeah, but a real funny anecdote, I don't know. Maybe it's always a bit more funny if Benny, the singer,
Mm.
enters the rehearsal room, because he's mainly not part of the songwriting progress. He's more of like a test test subject, like how will this work if people actually hear that. And let's call Benny, and he's around the corner, and he's hey guys, what you been up to? And he'll be sitting there and okay, totally unimpressed. um and then you play the song you thought was just, yeah, I won't say a joke, but thought it's a bit more simple. Okay, let's play it. And he's like, wow, that's 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 my favorite song. Like, okay, all right, yeah, okay, we'll finish that one. And yeah,
Okay.
I'm not saying which one it is.
What message do you hope to convey to your fans with All Is Dust? And what do you hope they take away after listening to it?
The message is simple. W- we we are still there. The, we are still the same guys. We're still the same lineup. We haven't changed anything about it. We've grown, of course, or grown. We've evolved. Um, no, it's just a matter of um, accepting things are differently now, and putting it in a musical or put it in musical ways that still are linked to the past, but are not the past, and definitely will not be sounding again like the first album or stuff like that. But we are happy with it, and we hope the fans will recognize this process as something they might also like. And yeah.
Looking to the future, what are the next steps from NEAERA after the release of All Is Dust?
We are not looking too far in the future because yeah, it's exciting. The present is exciting enough. We are focusing on the next shows. There's a handful of shows this time or this year, but they are rather big ones. It's festival season, and we are playing mostly or only in Germany.
Okay.
But we have some big festivals coming up.
Wow.
Of course, we'd love to play more of the new stuff, but as you know, a festival, this is such small space to cram everything into. I hope the people like the new stuff we play, and we also already know the new stuff a bit more. And yeah, from there, I really there are really no concrete plans with regards to touring and stuff like that. This is just something we're not focusing on at the moment. We'll see how things go
That's
when once the album is released, and we have a release show in our hometown. We are very excited about that because it was actually the same venue we did a breakup show back then. So there were tears of sadness, and now I think there'll be some tears of joy, maybe.
If you could collaborate with any musician or band, past or present, who would it be and why? What kind of project would you want to work on together?
Yeah, as I already mentioned, we had a collaboration already, and was kind of exciting for us because, as you might know, Heaven Shall Burn, they have also always been part of an influence to us, but also they have personally grown to be friends of us, close musical friends, of course, but also yeah, there's so many personal links also to them. So yeah, maybe in the future we'll or this could be a possibility. But yeah, they always come to mind because they kind of resonate with us.
If you had to describe NEAERA music using only movie titles, which watch would you pick?
Waterworld.
Waterworld.
Don't ask me why. I don't know. Maybe Mad Max also, because I don't know. Somehow I imagine crazy stunt guys flying all over the place, big explosions and stuff. Waterworld.
Oh my God! Well,
yeah.
Do you have any final word to your fans in this interview, Sebastian?
Yeah, I hope you enjoy the new album. We are so excited. And if you like, you always get back in touch to us via the known channels. So we hope you enjoy it. And thank you so much. It's been 20 years already for us, and maybe for you also since the first one. And yeah.